So I got some calves here in the alley and this old girl playing. We're redistributing pins this morning. We had some calves come out of these two pins, and then we got a bunch of calves in. And I didn't have the pins full on this side, so we're redistributing everything and filling them up. I like to put, like a lot of these pins, I like to put 65 in. If the calves are smaller, I'll put more, but you know, make loads out of them. It's usually a pretty good amount for like a 100-foot pan. It works pretty well. So she's just gonna sit up there and stare at us, but I gotta make room for 200 head down here. So we gotta blend some cattle, which they're already pretty much blended to begin with. But I've just been reading some YouTube comments. I put a video up of the dart gun, and I've had some people ask me about them. I use them all the time, as long as that medicine's working. Number one, if you're running a more viscous, thicker medicine like Nuflor, Resflor, something like that, you can't use Exceed through them because you got to get it up at the ear, or you're supposed to anyway. So those are a lot harder to use. They can be used, but I've had to use like 20 cc reusable syringes, and that's only good for like a 300-pound calf because you're running 6 cc's per 100 pounds. And so you have to use, and those have a charge in them that will push that fluid forward, but it has to be warmed up. And if it's not warmed up, that needle, even if it has a burr on it to keep it from coming out, will bounce off a calf more times than not. And then you just see your medicine spray everywhere. So we've kind of gotten away from that. In extreme cases, I'll do it. I still have those needles, but I don't use them very often. So pretty much I primarily run Draxxins, Aprevo, something like that. I have gotten some bigger ones to run Baytril through, but about that point in time, you're almost better off just pulling the calf. If you can't pull the calf, that's one thing, but you know, they're a nice tool to prevent a lot of going and a lot of time, but they're not a cure-all. Kind of watch these guys come in here. I got one in here. Let's see. That should be 39. So I stopped. Had to count them. Alex is gonna go get some more calves. We're gonna put another 26 more in here to fill this pen up. You can see our pen's getting pretty shot. We need to go in with. I have the steel. I bought enough panels to redo the pins, so we'll slowly get that done. Got to do those first, but these ones they're needing it. I like to put calves in here that we're not having to pull sick calves out of anymore. There may be like one, because this pin and this pin are really hard to pull out of because I have the gates up here along the bunk lines, and naturally all the cattle want to go down in that corner, and they will not. It's a pain to get them to flow out of here. So I don't like to put calves in here that I've got to be pulling out of all the time. These are great pins if you're doctoring with a dart gun and the medicine's working. These are great for that because you don't have to pull. But yeah, so a guy made a comment that he likes to give the sustain pills or the sulfa pills. We started doing that here recently, going back to that, and I feel like that's a big benefit to just some therapeutic measurements for their lungs, kind of get them going. We're seeing a big boost from doing that over just giving straight medication, giving that along with it. And I feel like this year it's been a big help to us. So definitely something we are going to continue to do. I think it's about $4 a head right now to do that. If you're given 2 pills, goes up to about five if you're 5.5 if you're given the 3 pills. But yeah, a lot of these calves in here, like you see this one up here, all foamy. You know, they've been doctored a lot, and it's hot today, so they get a good run and they get excited and they start looking rough again. But they're getting a lot of good response out of these cattle. So I hope that kind of answers some of the questions on the dart gun. You know, out here it's great in the pasture, especially if you're going to multiple pastures, or you can just keep it in the pickup with you. I'm gonna count these guys in here. Now that these pens are empty, what we will do is we'll go sort those calves up to come down here and put in here on this side. Kind of goes back to, there's the waters that we put in and our fences, so it'll match the other side of the feed lot way better than what was there. I have gates for there, but anyways, what we're going to go over in a video is I have to move everything now on I'm using this as my my deal, and so I'm gonna make a series of videos. It'll probably be 2 or 3 videos on this system. I switched to this in August, and this is our first real year using it. And so this all came about. Somebody saw a picture I'd put up of I used to write everything by hand, and so now they mentioned it, and it took me a couple months. I finally looked into it. Everything's on here. I move all my cattle and everything, and I just keep track of it, and it makes so it just makes loads for me. I just put on here, and so we batch everything, and works out really well. So I'm gonna go into how mixing works. Mixing and delivery probably be on the same video, and then go into like how entering everything and just showing you how it kind of keeps track, because I think it's amazing. It's cut so much time out of my life, it's not even funny. Really nice little system on here. So I'll be putting that, I'll make some videos on that, because I definitely think it's well worth people seeing. I really enjoy it. So anyways, I gotta go through and move all the cattle on here that I had, so that way I can get them fed today.